Well, boys, the Premier League's back this weekend. We got 10 whole games kicking off between Friday and Sunday. Got a big one in West London and a big one in North London between Spurs and the champions. So, should be a good weekend. Let's get into it. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you listen from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. That's Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below, that's Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. How's everyone doing? Boys, how are we doing?
Oh, good. Chelsea got a game this week. I'm excited. I got something to talk about. Let's go.
Everyone, very well warmed up, ready to crush a podcast.
Oh yeah. I noticed you said Spurs and the champions. You crowning them?
No. They're the current champions. They are the reigning champions of English football. I gotta show some respect to the current champions of English football.
It sounded like you were crowning them.
Maybe I am. If you look at the sheets of integrity, who did I pick to win the league?
True.
But before we dig into these matches that we got for you guys this week, if you're new here, if you're stumbling back across us, if you saw our transfer deadline day coverage or saw our FA Cup overview yesterday, whatever it was, if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, we would love it if you subscribe to this podcast, ring the sub notification bell, shared it with a friend, got in the comments, let us know what you think. If you're on one of our podcast sites, hit us with a follow. Rate it 5 stars if your platform allows you. All those things that normal internet people would ask you to do. We would really appreciate it if you do those things as well. So before we dig too deep, I do think we should look at the league table. It's been probably about a week and a half since we've done that. So I'll get that pulled up for everyone here.
We don't have to.
Nah, we got to.
We shouldn't.
We're more than 10 weeks in. The league table matters now.
Has anything changed?
Not a whole lot. So I'm not gonna go full details like I normally do. But the top 4 still Arsenal, City, United. That would be Newcastle and Manchester, respectively. Spurs are just on the outside, looking in 3 points behind Manchester United and Newcastle United. And then if we the middle of the table is basically all the same. If we look down towards the bottom, though, we've still got Bournemouth, Everton, and Southampton in the drop zone, with Wolves, West Ham, Leeds, and Leicester just on the outside of the drop zone. So Sean's prediction that the relegation battle would be more interesting than the top 4 battle is Sean Stradamus might have gotten a good one there. So something to keep our eye on.
50% of the time, it works every time.
There we go. All right. So list of matches this weekend. We kick off on Friday afternoon in West London. We've got Chelsea hosting Fulham. And then Saturday morning up at Goodison Park, we got Everton hosting Arsenal and Sean Dyche's return to the Premier League. Villa is hosting Leicester. Brentford is hosting Southampton. Brighton welcome Bournemouth. Manchester United will welcome Crystal Palace to Old Trafford. Excuse me. Yeah, just fumbling over my words. Wolves will see Liverpool at the Molineux, and Newcastle welcome West Ham United to St. James Park. Sunday, we've got Nottingham Forest hosting Leeds, and then at White Hart Lane, we've got Spurs and Manchester City. I think that we've got a good smattering of good games this weekend. Nothing, no throwaway games if I'm looking at it.
Inside 2020, how once you got a little familiar and you just dipped your toe into being a fan, how did you not switch your allegiance to Newcastle? You know.
Who?
St. James Park.
Oh, me? What did I think about Newcastle in 2006?
You were just dipping your toe. It's not too late to change teams. I just picked a team.
Nah, Thierry Henry, man, he was just something else. It was just something I couldn't not support Thierry Henry. He was a cheat code in FIFA. He was an absolute cheat code in FIFA. And actually, another thing that drew me to Arsenal was they had maroon jerseys that year. In the 05-06 season, they wore maroon jerseys at home. And when I was a little kid, my Pee-wee soccer team was the Pigpens, and we wore maroon shirts as well. So
there you go.
It was another point of convergence. But it's kind of humorous because then in the next season, in the 06-07 season, when Arsenal went back to the
Yellow.
traditional, now they went back to the traditional red and white sleeves. I was like, what is this jersey? Like I was kind of so I found the team when they were on like an off normal home kit. And then I was like, oh, that's like, I like that. That's I'm vibing with that. But then they went back to their traditional home kit and I was like, what is going on here? Why are they wearing this weird jersey? I don't like this as much. But the red and white has certainly grown on me.
What a fun fandom Easter egg we just
Yeah.
found.
Yeah. So, shout out to the pig pens in Kings Park West, rec soccer in Burke, Virginia. Shout out. If any of you guys are listening,
No one.
no one.
Right.
It's okay. All right. So let's
We got some fans in Berg.
yeah, it's called my parents. Okay. Let's get into Chelsea Fulham from Stamford Bridge. Graham Potter has a dilemma. He has to pick only 11 players from the 67 registered first team players at Chelsea Football Club. This number is metastasizing as we speak.
Wait. Are you only 67? I think you did the math wrong, but we only lost one person, so it should be like 73.
Oh, maybe it is 73. I don't know.
Like
Might be 83. I'm not sure either. But okay, Brad, what do you think about this match? Is Graham Potter gonna get it right? Are we gonna see who are we gonna see out there?
So I'm excited. We'll see what time. Enzo should be ready to go. So we'll have E5 instead of J5. Mudryk, I think, starts from the beginning on the left. That was Jorginho's hashtag was J5.
Well, timeout. Shouldn't it be
Enzo took number 5?
So shouldn't it be EF because he's Enzo Fernandez? Jorginho has got that weird Italian Brazilian thing where he just goes by one name.
Yeah, but on the back of his jersey is Enzo, I think.
Okay.
That's what the kit was when the reveal kit was Enzo 5, so he's E5.
Okay.
So we should see Enzo starting. Should see Mudryk starting. We should win this game. But let me say that part first. This is a dub for Chelsea.
Hold on. Does Hakim Ziyech see any game time?
See, so what happened was he was in the starting lineup, but then like the fax machine was like messed up and like the signature was in like the wrong spot, and so like he did make the starting lineup.
Chelsea sent the wrong paperwork 3 times in a row for those who are not keeping track at home.
Yeah.
No,
for the
it was the right paperwork. The machine just wasn't working right.
So this is actually a hilarious story that we need to quickly get into a decide on.
Go ahead. But then I'll tell you what the real story was.
Ziyech was supposed to sign on loan to PSG. They had an agreement, and then PSG faxed over or emailed over the forms for Chelsea to sign. And then Chelsea just emailed back the same form 3 times that was unsigned, just because they were trying to finalize all of the documents for Enzo Fernandez, and they just didn't give a single solitary F for the Ziyech deal. And so they just kept emailing PSG the same form over and over again.
See, that's your story. See, this is the Chelsea story. Is that one of the head guys, one of the people that were like actively in our pursuit for Enzo, went to Hakeem, was like, bro, are you excited to play with the best Argentinian playing right now? And he was like, dope, I'll get on plane, I'll go to Paris right now. And then like they were looking for him later that day and like, wait, why, where are you, Hakeem? Like, no, Enzo is coming to Chelsea. He thought he was going to play with Messi, but it was really for Enzo.
This seems like a really poorly written fanfic from the Chelsea subreddit. All right.
It probably is, but it was hilarious. It is comical, and I feel very, very bad for Hakeem Ziyech. Like, yeah, that's just an awkward, bad situation, and
it's hilarious.
No, I don't think it actually is really funny that we couldn't get the right paperwork to get this to happen for him. Or whatever may have happened that we said, yeah, sure, but we really didn't mean it, or like whatever the facts are, right? But no, I don't foresee him playing in this match. I think he will still have a role to play this year. But yeah.
I do two quick things. One for Brad, one for James. I do find it funny that in the year of the Lord 2023 that you have European giants faxing documents over to each other.
I think it's the easiest
but
way to do it.
Yes. Apparently there was another one that got messed up too. Oh,
pretty,
Barcelona's transfer
pretty
messed up too.
it was pretty comical to me that you have them actually dialing a number on a fax machine. Young kids that are listening to this podcast are never going to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, they
But
have no idea what a fax is.
and young kids, I probably mean by 5 to 6 years because I
Younger
barely
than
know
us,
what
yeah.
one is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you said E5. Would you prefer to be at E5 or F5 if you were Enzo? Because a F5 is the strongest possible tornado, but an E5 is only an enlisted level 5 sergeant.
Oh.
But a sergeant of
Oh.
sergeant of the defense is pretty dope.
Yo,
Oh.
E,
Oh.
E5,
We got
yeah,
two
you take it
nicknames
that
here.
way.
I don't know.
E5, or is he the
We'll have to
F5 the
see.
most powerful tornado? You know.
all right, Brad. Who's gonna win the match? Who's gonna win?
Chelsea 2-0.
Got Chelsea 2-0.
Mudryk gets his first goal. I'd probably have already said this like 7 times, but like I haven't been this excited for a player since Hazard was playing for Chelsea. So Mudryk gets his first goal, and then I think it's a cheeky Havertz goal that he's been kind of scoring here.
I would have picked Thiago Silva to be the second goal, but I also don't care. So, like simple
Well, you guys
as.
got it all wrong. It's gonna be about 3-1 Chelsea with the Mitrovicin, because that's what he
Bruh,
does.
Mitrovic is not going to Mitrovic against
Yes, he
Thiago
is.
Silva.
He always does. It's like Novocaine. Just give it time. It always works.
Bruh, Thiago shutting that down. Mitrovicing will not be Mitrovicing.
All right, check the.
James liked that one.
I
Tell
did.
that tell that to Dr. Tiffany.
I will. The CFO will get a kick out of that. All right, let's move our way up to Everton. We've got Sean Dyche is returning to Premier League football. He's got kind of a tough start, tough go of it. He's got Arsenal in his first match, and then a Merseyside derby at Anfield for his second match of his return to the Premier League. So rough going for him. If I'm being honest, I don't think that there's a whole lot in this match. I think Arsenal's team is better than Everton's team. I think our players are more skillful. I think our system, I say our system is better than Everton's system, but I don't necessarily know what Sean Dyche is going to do other than play 4-4-2. But what?
Isn't Sean Dyche like the first and only ever manager to play a starting 11 in all of their roles correctly? Like the jersey number was where that person was supposed to be.
I don't know if he's the only person to do it, but like he's the last person to do it recently.
Okay, yes, I was going to say yes, he's not the first one because that's how they used to play.
Yeah.
So,
well, before they had names on their jerseys, you would just, if you're the left back, you got the 3. If you're the right back, you got the 2. If you're the center back, you got a 5 and a, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It should be. Arsenal should handily win this game. If we want to win the Premier League, this is a game we have to win. We're the best team traveling in the Premier League in terms of points. Like we've picked up the most points out of any team traveling, and I don't see why we don't get points at Goodison Park. Why we don't get maximum points at Goodison Park. I don't think you see our summer signings play from the start. I think, or excuse me, our January signings they'll get game time through substitutions probably. I don't know if Jorginho or QR plays a lot, but we'll see. Trossard's definitely going to get in. Other than that, there's not much to say about this. I will be interested to see how Sean Dyche does. If Arsenal can get an early goal, I think you could kind of turn Goodison Park into a hostile ground for Everton. But
for Everton,
Everton.
Before that, if you guys don't, then I don't know how this plays out because Arsenal should win this game. Arsenal is probably going to win this game, but you're still at Goodison Park, and like Goodison Park is a tough place to play. I think.
I mean, I don't know how much you want to get into this, but
Do we want to go down it?
it's up to you, Sean. It's your
I'm here to
soapbox.
push Sean's. I'm here to push Sean's buttons because like Goodison Park is
Listen,
a tough place to play.
We have talked about a tough place to play. A tough place to play is where a team plays that they're actually good. It's not because of the fans. I'm sorry, fans. I know you like to feel like you influence the game. You don't. It's the same thing. If they played in the bubble, it would be the same result, roughly.
Well, the
There's
bubble.
small.
I think the bubble had more impact on the specific players because we talked about this with Tamzid a lot back during the bubble season. Was that like certain players thrive off crowds? It's like Aaron Ramsdale probably is a better goalkeeper when he's being harassed by fans. Like if there's no fans in the stadium, that's probably worse for Aaron Ramsdale. But when he's getting harassed, it's probably really good for him. But
maybe that was an incorrect way to go down. I don't think it matters when there's fans in the stands. It doesn't matter whether you're home or away. You just like to hear the white noise to wash out of whatever. But Everton's last 5 games, they have 1 draw. They have 1 point, and it was away.
Yeah, that's a telling.
It's so Goodison, and one of those losses at home included the last place team, Southampton. So Southampton didn't think it was a very tough place to play.
Oh, okay. Hey guys, if you think Sean's wrong about this whole home field advantage thing, then please light him up in the comments. And if you think I'm wrong about home field advantage being a thing and that Goodison Park is not a tough place to play, then light me up in the comments and let's see who gets lit up more.
Goodison Park was a very tough place to play in the 50s when Everton were actually good. Okay. That's when it was really hard to play at.
Okay.
We're gonna move on now. I'm gonna take you beyond the curtain here, loyal listeners. But as we were talking about Everton and Arsenal, someone who I'm gonna conveniently accuse Brad of doing this has highlighted extra games in our rundown.
I did.
We only had one more game highlighted, but now there are three more games highlighted, loyal listeners. So we've got even more preview now because apparently Brad really, really badly wants to talk about Manchester United Palace. So fill us in, Brad.
I think United Palace is interesting. In the past 7 games, United's only won 2 of them. So
between Crystal Palace and United?
Between Crystal Palace and United, yeah.
Okay. I thought you were trying to say that United have only won 2 of their last 7 matches.
No.
Which
against Crystal Palace, they've only won 2 of the last 7 matches.
Okay.
And
they just had one signing, one major signing, right?
They loaned in 2 people. They loaned in Weghorst, who's been playing every game.
I forgot about that. Was like at the very beginning. I forgot about that.
And then I'm gonna mess up his name because I can't think of it. Sabitzer, something like that from
Sabitzer.
Bayern. Sabitzer. Yeah, from Bayern to replace Eriksen getting jacked up in the last game.
So, it's the best.
Who did that, James?
Who did what?
Who took out Christian Eriksen?
Was it Andy Carroll? I don't remember.
No.
Who was it?
It was Ramsey.
Aaron Ramsey?
Maybe it was Carroll. I thought it was Aaron Ramsey.
Brad, hold on. Time out. Before you look up Aaron Ramsey, do you know what club Aaron Ramsey plays for?
He plays in France, Brad.
He plays for Nice.
He plays for Nice.
Were you thinking Jacob Ramsey? Maybe. I thought it was Andy Carroll.
Maybe it was Andy Carroll.
Wasn't there?
Maybe it was Andy Carroll. For some reason, I saw Aaron Ramsey in my head. I don't know.
Wasn't there like talk about like Andy Carroll and dangerous tackles or something like that? Anyway, I digress.
Andy Carroll just had flashbacks to when he was on Liverpool.
That's what it was. Andy Carroll.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When he was on Liverpool, and he was like, screw these devils.
Yeah.
But speaking of Liverpool, I thought it was hilarious this last week to see the Liverpool fans molting even more than they had been about the fact that United sustained an injury and one day later they signed another midfielder, whereas like Liverpool's like, we've needed a midfielder for 3 transfer windows and we signed one 4 transfer windows ago. Like the last time we signed a midfielder was Thiago. Like what is going on here? And like it's just very funny to me.
When
And
they
they're
did
just
sign Arthur Melo, he just kind of got hurt.
He's just vibing up in Liverpool,
Vibes.
just doing nothing.
yeah,
Rehab.
well, it's all right. They got James Milner. Sorry,
Okay.
Tamsy. Tamsy, don't worry about it. You got Milner.
Trigger warning. So other than, but United are clearly going to slap Palace in this match, Brad. Do you think otherwise?
On current form, you're probably correct. United will beat Palace, but I think as like a historical marker, it's an interesting game that
Okay.
Palace that boogeyman for them. That's the question.
I,
Yes, United on paper should win this game.
I mean, I'd be all about. Well, I mean, Palace did just get a draw again, like a last minute draw against United, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, in a rematch, in like a makeup game. But
If we're gonna talk Palace, hopefully this doesn't go too long. But how long are Palace going to be happy with Vieira finishing 11th every year?
I mean, if they finish 11th this year, I think they'll be pretty happy. Because where are they right now? Where
12th.
12th. Oh, okay. I thought they were lower than that. I don't know.
No.
The thing is, like, they're on 24 points right now.
Like, are they happy with that? Like, are they happy with mid-table?
I mean, would you
Like fans wise,
would you not be?
I would imagine the most typical
Crystal Palace
fan,
were you,
the most typical fan, even a Palace fan, would imagine that a mid-table finish is a stepping stone to a top half finish, which is a stepping stone to knocking on the door to Europe. You know what I mean? Like
I
you would
mean,
imagine a progression
if you're
over
8
the
to
course of a
12,
manager.
I don't see an issue. Like 8 to 12
It depends.
as
It depends on the
Palace have
size
to,
of the
Yeah,
club.
I
and
guess
are you
my question would be this would be the third straight year under Vieira, or is it four?
I thought this was the second year under Vieira.
No, this is his third
Okay.
year there, I believe.
You're probably right.
But is three straight mid-table? So I guess that's my question: is three straight mid-tables good enough for Palace fans?
probably? I mean, what's your ambitions? Like,
They
what would be
they,
what is Palace's ambitions? Is the question. And I
probably
think
stay up and stay mid-table, I guess. If they're not,
I,
if they're not clamoring for Vieira's head.
I think it was first stay up, get consistent mid table,
But you
and
also
then creep.
you kind of also have
But
to
like,
remember that Vieira is kind of learning his craft right now. Still, like he managed.
Still,
He managed at New York at NYFC. He spent some time, I think, at Monaco, perhaps, or Nice, or wherever it was. It was Nice. Okay, it's like he's a relatively young manager, so he's kind of learning his craft, figuring out how the league works, and from a managing perspective. So I think you give him a little bit of leeway, but then the question is like, what are the goals of Crystal Palace? Obviously, it's to stay in the Premier League at bare minimum, but then probably finish top half would probably be the goal. Like I think if Crystal Palace finished 10th every year and made an occasional run in a cup, either the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, like that I think Palace fans are pretty happy about. Now I'm not a Palace fan, so I don't know what it feels like to be like happy that you finished 10th.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I guess then my follow-up question would be if you're Vieira. Now I know he's young for a manager, but if you're Vieira, like, do you perennially be known as the mid-table manager? Do you have to go abroad to start bolstering your resume? Because you're never gonna at this point. You're probably not. You're not doing it with Palace unless you strike some gold somewhere.
Oh,
look, I mean, I think if he's doing this with Palace, right? Like a Big Six club would take a chance on him. Like he could be a Poch. Poch did it with Southampton.
I mean, yeah, like this is my point of this is my thought just now that I've just come up, like just thought about it, but like in 3 years' time when Pep Guardiola's contract runs out, if Patrick Vieira has been consistently keeping Crystal Palace in like the 8 through 12 range in the Premier League, Patrick Vieira has history at Crystal Palace, at Manchester City. He has history at Manchester City. He played for City. So assuming that that City doesn't go for like the current big name manager and they want to get a manager who knows the Premier League, Patrick Vieira could be a very viable shot in the same sense that Graham Potter was a viable shot for Chelsea because he didn't I mean, like he probably did overperform for Brighton, but he didn't like set the world on fire as the Brighton manager.
He also
Um,
didn't underperform either.
correct. So
Yeah,
I guess it
Brighton
depends on.
grew over
I,
time.
I guess the question is, what are Palace's goals? And I could see Patrick Vieira getting a step up at some point, whether or not that's directly into the Big Six or if that's to a from Crystal Palace to in Aston
Villa.
Villa or something like
Yeah.
that. Who knows? A West Ham. I don't know. What was the other game you
Hey,
highlighted? You highlighted Forest Leeds. Tell me,
Yeah,
tell me why you want to
Forest Leeds is
watch
levels.
Nottingham Forest play against Leeds United States of America.
Well, Leeds, United States of America. I want to see that AMA midfield. I think we all want to see that AMA midfield. Am I wrong?
Absolutely.
Adams, McKenzie.
Aronson McKenzie.
Mackenzie, McKinney, Weston
Whatever.
McKinney, Mackenzie. This is, Aaron. I want Aronson to play I want Aronson to play at the top. I wanted to play false nine or on the wing. I don't want to play in midfield. What are you talking about?
He's a cam. Okay, but whatever. And Leeds Forest, I mean, it's 3 points difference. With Leeds having a game in hand, so we can say like game in hand is 3 points, then
Well, I mean,
it's an even match. And
this is an important game for Leeds. They could fall into the relegation zone with a loss in this match. It seems unlikely, but they could. So like and if Leeds were to get a victory over Nottingham Forest, who you said levels, like that does wonders for building confidence and then also survival, which is ultimately Jesse Marsh's task. I think it Leeds is survive, stay up.
Yep, 100%. And we'll see Navas's debut in the Premier League probably.
Oh yeah, that's huge. That's huge for Forest. I forget who their goalie was before.
I don't know. Sean, who was it? Was it?
I don't know.
Was he English?
It's the best goalkeeper in England.
Oh,
Dean Henderson.
Oh, no. Chill on that. Speaking of Spurs's, I still think that we were talking about this off air, I think yesterday or the day before, Sean. I think that Spurs should try and sign Dean Henderson when his loan deal is up at Forest this summer. Whether or not there's an option to buy for Forest, I don't remember. But I think Spurs, if you're looking for a new goalkeeper, should try and sign Dean Henderson.
Absolutely.
But I don't think there is an option. But I don't think United let that would let that happen with an option to buy for Forest. I think it was a straight loan.
I think it is a straight loan. But speaking of Spurs, and my nice segue brought to you by Segway Scooters, not actually sponsored, but if you want to, hit us up in the email info.redcarradio@gmail.com. Spurs City. Tell me why Antonio Conte decided that this week was the week for his tummy to start hurting and him needing to have gallbladder surgery so he's not on the sideline. What's going on with that?
I think he also, just like many of the fans, did not want to watch the destruction that is going to happen come this weekend. Because I also don't want to watch this. This would be the game of the week, traditional.
I think it still is.
Traditional
I think it is.
Listeners, the game of the week was traditionally the game that no one should watch. There is no point in watching this game whatsoever. In the traditional sense of this podcast, that was the game of the week that we would always pick.
Okay.
I agree. That should be. There is no point to watch this game. It is going to be 3-4-0.
I think you're selling yourself short. I think Spurs are going to play a tight game. I think Porro comes in for Royale, and Eric Dyer is prime Sergio Ramos, and he's just slinging balls left, right, and center, and has Erling Haaland in his pocket. And I think, in all honesty, I do think this is a tighter game than you're anticipating. Obviously, could end 6-0 to City, but City could score 6 against anybody.
He's proven himself with both feet, but Haaland likes to swoop in from the left because he's right-footed, so that he can tap in with his right foot, or he appears to be right-footed. I don't know. kicks it with both.
Well, I mean,
I
like
can't really tell.
Better, yeah.
robots tend, I think right-footedness, left-footedness is more of a human attribute. Robots are just like
Okay,
they've got
that's true.
two things that
But
resemble legs.
Ball
maybe
is
they
here, ball
like
go goal.
maybe they like to play through the right, so it seems like he goes back post a lot.
Yeah.
That's from what I've watched of it. So all jokes aside, it will be really tough for him with Romero into Dyer because he's not going to physically overpower either one of them as he passes from center back to center back. Now, if he can, I think the idea would be because Longley is tall, he's not a very big man though. So
Can,
whether you play Longley or Dyer, I think the play would be for City to play through the left and have Holland play through Davis and into Dyer if he had to. But that would be the play for them is to exploit Davis if he plays or Longley if he plays.
it's going to be Davies. Like it seems like
I would imagine it would be,
It is.
that's who it's been recently.
but yeah, that would be the play is for them to play through the left so that Holland comes in from that backside right there.
I mean, well, if they're doing that,
Because he's
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay, if they're doing that, do you think Phil Foden gets back into the team? Do you think Phil Foden starts? If that's the strategy is to attack the left side so that
if I were attacking my own team with Erling Holland, that's how I would do it.
yeah,
Because that basically takes Romero out of the game.
yeah.
Because the striker's on the other side, and by the time that driving player gets to Romero, they're already kicking it across the box.
Yeah.
They're either passing it back or they're crossing it, and Romero is effectively taken out, and then your best defender is useless because he's not actually doing anything.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe I'm hoping, but like Spurs are traditionally a difficult team for City to play against. Now it's obviously going to be a different can of worms if Conte is not there. In terms of the, I don't know, like when things are out of whack, things are out of whack.
We might make a sub before the 70th. That'll be nice.
Okay. I don't know.
Don't get too crazy.
I'm looking forward to it. I think Spurs will. I think this will be a tighter game than you're thinking.
It's got 3-0, 4-0 written all over it.
City probably ultimately win, just in terms of sheer firepower. But I think I don't want to count Spurs out yet because I see a world where Spurs get a result.
Wasn't it just like 4-2? Wasn't that the last result?
3-2 with a late goal.
No, it was 4-2.
No, it was
It was
4-2.
4-2.
Yeah. 4-2, and all the goals were in the second half. That's right.
Well, no, Spurs. Yeah,
No,
but Spurs scored
the first half.
Yeah, Spurs scored 2 in the first half. Yeah.
All their goals were in the second half. That's what I meant.
So, I mean, if I think City have vulnerabilities. Like I think that you could exploit City. But
well, like we've said this before, right? Like City has a plan. City are robots. Tottenham, what plan do they have? And that's why they play so well against City. Like I think you said that, Sean. Like we don't know what we're doing, so how are you going to know what we're doing to counter it? You robots, you can't counter what you don't know.
You know what? Conte's not on the sideline. We're back to no plan, baby. We might win. You just inspired me. I didn't even think about that. Conte's not barking orders.
Hey,
telling us to get into actual positions that robots can triangulate. No, we're back to free flowing, nonsensical movements. And you know what? We're winning.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Well, that's a good way to end. That's a good place to end it.
Yeah, we can end it there. I was gonna say, Conte's tummy problems happened on February 1st because he saw the end of the window for Tottenham and his tummy hurt.
Yeah, his tummy's gonna hurt as long as Romero's hamstring did, which is an entire 2 months until the World Cup.
But also, in all seriousness, though, Antonio Conte's surgery was successful and he is back recovering. That's why
it's gallbladder. I don't know the mortality rate for gallbladder surgery, but I would imagine it's astronomically low. So
I do have a quick trivia.
Oh, okay.
For Brad.
That's right. That's right.
So I have in front of me for this current season the average attendance. So I will give you both the first and the last because both are probably Both are probably gimmies.
So you mean first and 20th?
First and last is what I said.
Yeah. Do you want to guess who first and 20th are?
Oh yeah, sure.
If you want to guess,
I,
they
No.
should be
they're
gimme.
both gimmies.
What?
They
What
should
are we
be.
doing? Average attendance or like percentage attendance? Like which one are we doing?
I'm not doing percentage attendance. I don't.
Okay.
get that.
No, I probably don't know. So just tell me so I don't guess
So,
who's number two.
as a
the
quick
highest capacity.
as a quick aside for our listeners, we had a little bit of a debate in our text message chain today because Brad sent a ridiculous graph, and so that's why we're dealing with attendance right now. But
So average attendance, you would likely pick the highest capacity stadium because
Right.
you were going to be right, which
Right,
would be Old Trafford.
Yeah.
All right, so they have the highest average attendance. Then
Yeah.
in the lowest, you would pick the very smallest capacity stadium, and you would be correct.
if you
Which is
picked
Bournemouth.
yeah.
Huh?
Which is Bournemouth.
I almost said Brentford. Sorry.
Okay.
Bournemouth
So-
would be on my list of my short ones.
So my trivia would be who is the second highest, and who is the second from last? Who is the 19th?
Tottenham is second.
Okay, and who's 19th?
Did I say it was Brentford?
You got it.
Got both.
You got Brentford. No, you did not. You did not get second. You were close.
Do you want to take another guess at who second is?
Arsenal.
No.
You are also very close. That is not it. This is why it was funny because
Yeah.
me and James both were like, "What?"
Yeah, you should tell him.
Is it
It is-
Newcastle?
Also very close.
City then?
Nope. It is
Oh.
West Ham United, the city of London or the city
Yeah.
of
I
London
forgot
Stadium.
Olympic Stadium. Oh.
The Olympic Stadium. Yeah.
Oh.
Both of us were like, "What?"
Yeah.
I should have known. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, the Olympic Stadium.
Because they have a huge capacity. So even if they fill it like 80%, it's still more than I mean, you guys are in ninth, but only because you have a tiny stadium.
Yeah, but it's like a 40,000 seat stadium.
Capacity wise, you
Yeah.
average 39.9.
Yeah, because
So basically 40. Basically 40,000. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I thought that was a good one. When you brought it up, I
that was
was like,
really good.
I was like, I know, I know United are first. I know Tottenham are second. I just completely forgot that the City of London Stadium existed.
It's
Yeah.
enormous.
I just thought West Ham were still playing at Upton Park or something like that.
So wait, so did I? So I got first, I got third and
You-
fourth. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Yes. You got what? You got 1, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Then you skipped Liverpool when you guessed City Newcastle because you got City Newcastle in order, but you skipped Anfield.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's good trivia. Good. I like that, Sean.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Yo, Matt, I got Brentford though. Did you not expect me to get Brentford?
Yeah, I was a little mad you got Brentford, but it didn't help that you guessed them for the last one, so it was already fresh in your head.
Yeah. Jimmy, I'll be interested to see your responses if you are up to date on stadium capacity in England. Big shout out to you, Jimmy. Appreciate you all your comments through this week. With the transfer deadline day and all that stuff, it was just had a little bit difficulty working them in personally, but we really do appreciate you dropping those comments. What are you gonna say, bro?
No, yeah, I was gonna say with all the chaos from the transfer window,
Yeah.
everything else happening.
All right, so that's our preview for Match Week 22. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know which games you're watching this week. Let us know if Sean is wrong about home field advantage, all that stuff. And everyone just tell Brad that he is dumb. If you have not yet, hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell, rate it 5 stars, share it with a friend, share it with your mother and brother, all those things. We would really appreciate it. Hit us up on Twitter. That's at KSBradG. Down below, it's at Whiteheart_Sean. I'm at James Tiffany. Check back in with us next week, and we'll be back, and we'll be doing it all again next week. So we would love for you to be around as well. But until then, enjoy some football this weekend, and we will see you guys soon.